Some of the pro-Trump rioters who stormed the Capitol this month wore clothing with anti-Semitic images and messages.
Even among the many disturbing images the country confronted on January 6th, some were more painful than others for some Americans.
It must hit you viscerally when you see Camp Auschwitz shirts as part of January 6th.
Of course it does.
How could it not? Glickman is one of the survivors of the deadliest attack on Jews in American history. She was inside the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh that horrific October day in 2018 when a gunman stormed in and slaughtered 11 of her fellow worshipers.
Do you ever wish that what would come out of the Tree of Life shooting isn't more hate, but a collective wake-up?
Absolutely. That has been my wish from the very beginning, that people would understand, but we've seen more shootings since then, more killing. People are not understanding.
The escalation in hate crimes against the Jewish community is up over 59% in the last year. And it just doesn't seem to get much media attention, and it doesn't seem to get much attention from the law enforcement community. What do you think about that?
So first, thank you for having us here, Dr. Phil, for this really important conversation. And the first thing I want to say is to Joey, that was horrible. It's hard for me to talk about it. It was horrible.
Appreciate that.
I'm really sorry. There has been an uptick in anti-Semitic incidents over the past several years, though, to be honest, hate crimes in general and anti-Semitic crimes are down from the 90s. And it's not only anti-Semitic hate crimes, but hate crimes in general that have gone up in the last couple of years, but they've been down before then. And to step back for a minute, we have to realize every time there's been anti-Jewish violence and hate crimes in general, there's always a political context for it. And we're coming off of the Trump administration, which used the rhetoric of hate and violence. President Trump very famously said at his campaign rallies, kill them, beat them up, kick them out. So there are politicians, unfortunately, in this country and their corporate lobbyists who profit from a machinery of division and hatred. And this comes together with and smacks up against the problem that we have an enormous amount of guns in this country. And the people who have the guns are often the people who are also on the right and connected with white nationalism, white supremacy. And so what I feel about anti-Semitic attacks is that they're terrible, but they have to be understood within the larger context of this machinery of division and hatred. I was very impressed by our yesterday's show, and you mentioned the fact that one of the ways to overcome this hatred is by getting to know other communities, and that's the only way to create solidarity between communities, for communities to come together. And the people who are fomenting the hate and violence are afraid of that.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.